This presentation is part of a Photoshop for Photographers video set. The subject here is Adobe's Bridge, and in this video we're going to take a look at collections and smart collections. There are many reasons why we may need to go through our picture folders looking for images. We may be collecting images together for a slideshow, or we may be looking for potential images to enter into a competition, and I'm sure we can all think of other reasons too. So let's make this demonstration a practical project. It's something I try to do with the majority of my videos. Let's assume here that we want to gather images for a slideshow. We're going to need to look in a number of folders, perhaps spread over more than 1 year. What I need to do is to ensure that I copy all of the images I intend to use in my slideshow into a slideshow project folder. Now think how tedious it could be as we right-click the thumbnails and save them from a variety of different folders into another one at a different location. Remember, if we right-click and save one of these files, the computer is going to want to put the file back where it originates from, not into our slideshow folder. Very tedious. So let's do this the easy way with collections. Down at the bottom left we can start a new collection and we can rename it too. So if I start it by clicking the icon, I'll call this my slideshow. And if I just click anywhere, it'll be accepted as the title. Now by selecting that particular folder, what we're effectively doing now is looking within that folder, and it's telling us that it doesn't have any images. We haven't lost any of those thumbnails that were on screen. Let me go back to my year 2018 and March images. So let me assume I want some images for a slideshow. I can click, drag and drop any image into my collection. I can do them multiple. I can select that one, hold the shift key, select that one, that one, that one, and drag them in. I can skip to the previous year, nothing there that I want. In the next one, there's a seascape, there's a seascape. Let me take a couple of those. Let's go to May and we'll do the same here. There's a seascape, a few here. You can see how this works. So we can look at the thumbnails as per normal within Bridge, but now within our slideshow folder or our collection we've got 10 images. Now it wouldn't take us very long to go back through 2017, 2016 and gather together the 30, 40, 50 images we may need for a project of this type. One thing you need to remember is that images are not copied into our collection folder, which means we should never delete images from a collection because they will be removed from your computer. Now with the spinning round of the screen you can see that I've added just a few more images to try to make this more like a real life project. But if you do want to remove one or many images from a collection, then we need to select them first and use the button at the top right which says remove from collection. It's greyed out at the moment because we don't have anything selected. But if I looked around here once I got my collection together and said no, I don't think that one's going to fit or that one's going to fit, this is where you shouldn't hit the delete key, otherwise they're going to be lost from your computer. Up here now, remove from the collection. Now once we've gathered all of the images into our collection, now we can highlight them all, right click and select either copy or copy to. Now I've already created a folder called My Slideshow on my photography drive, so I can choose copy to and I can navigate to that folder and all the images in my collection will be copied there. So I'm going to select the first. I'm going to use shortcuts here, Control A to select all. I can right click, choose copy to, I've just created that folder and it's popped up there automatically, so I don't even have to search for it. So I'm just going to click that and you can see the files being copied. But of course we probably need some reassurance just to make sure what we think has happened actually has. So if I go to the file tree on the left and just navigate to the folder I created, my slideshow, there I have all of the images I selected, 18, because I removed 2 from the collection. So now we know we've got duplicates ready for the project of our slideshow. We can return to the collection we originally made, and if we're sure we're finished with these images, we can hit Ctrl A to select them all and remove them all from the collection, and we can hit the little bin here to remove the collection folder. Now, Camera Club members can make good use of collections by perhaps naming a set of them for the whole year for the set subject competitions that they may wish to enter. Now, it's so easy to drag images into the right folder, and by the time the competition comes around you may have a dozen images of the subject you need. Now you can review your collection and select the very best, and review mode works within a collection too. So if I just select a few of these black and whites just for demo purposes, and we'll drag them in the monochrome section, when I go into that folder I can hit Ctrl B or go up to review mode, and there we are able to scroll through them and decide which of these we're actually going to enter. The Smart Collection works a little different, but let's assume here that as we manipulate and complete images, we wish to isolate the very best of them into a Smart Collection. A collection we may later use to select those images for competition perhaps. For a practical demonstration we can use those star ratings that we've already looked at in a previous video. We know how they work and they're very quick to apply. What I've done here is to open up my latest folder of completed images, and I'm going to give those that I like best 5 stars. Of course we can go to any of the other folders in any year and do this too. Now, from looking at all of these pictures for the last few days, I'm quite taken with this one. I like my storm picture here. I like the movement and the structure of this one, and also this one here. So let's assume these are the images that I want to appear in my final choice list. So what I'm going to do here is just give them all 5 stars. And just to prove the point, I'll jump back to March 2015 and I'll pick a couple of images from here too, and I'll give those 2 5-star ratings as well. Now we can go down here and click to create a Smart Collection. So we need to give this panel a few instructions. I need the Smart Collection to be created from the best of my finished images, so I need to tell Bridge where to look. So in the top section I need to do just that. On this particular computer they're in a folder called Images Finished, so I'm going to select that. Under the criteria option here I need to select, and you can see we've got a lot of choices here. I'm going to choose rating because we've chosen stars. Here I'm going to select equals. It's come up automatically, but you can see there's variations, but here I'm going to use equals, and in this box here I'm going to choose 5 star. The next box says a match if any criteria are met. Quite happy with that, but if this box isn't ticked then it must be, because I've actually got yearly folders and monthly folders within those, so I do need to look inside all subfolders. But now I'm going to click Save. Now there we have our new Smart Collection, and we can go into this and we can rename it best images or whatever you want to call it. And you'll notice if you look at the thumbnails, I've got a couple of extras here. Where I've done demonstrations in the past, there's a couple of images here, this one and this one, which were left with 5 stars, and they've been picked up. Now if we keep this criteria, what we've set up for our smart collection, every time we create an image in the future that we think is good enough to be considered, we just need to give it 5 stars, and Bridge will automatically include it into our smart collection. So I think we need to just test the water here. So I'll go back to 2011, pick a folder at random. What shall we select here? Something different, I think. Let's select a few birds. This one looks pretty good. I'm going to give this one 5 stars. And the one flying down here, or this one I think looks nicer. I've looked at this one before, so I'm going to give that one 5 stars too. When I go back to my collection, there's the 2 images I just selected. Now I can safely hit the little bin down here and my collection is lost, but none of the images have been lost. They're still residing in the folders they were originally. Now if I were to go back now and click my smart collection icon once again, you can see that if we don't change anything here, it's going to look in the same place we looked before, using the same criteria. Just be a little careful when you go out and come back in to make sure it is in fact looking in the right place. But when I click save, I'm going to get exactly the same result. Now if you want to remove images from your smart collection, then remove the 5-star rating. We can do that from the smart collection folder we're in at the moment. Just click out and back and the adjustments will be made. We can demonstrate that with the 2 images I got by accident that are obviously a spillover from an old demonstration. So I'll just take away the 5 stars from them. They don't immediately disappear. That's what I mean about just clicking back to another folder, back to the smart collection, and everything is refreshed and those 2 images are now back where they normally reside. Now should we have a project where we need to vary the criteria of the search parameters for our smart collection, if we highlight the folder and go down to the bottom left, there's a little icon there. There's another one identical top right, they both do the same thing. They'll bring into play that smart collection edit and we can change the criteria there. If you've enjoyed this video, and particularly if you're watching on YouTube, please check out the links below to our Photoshop for Photographers video course. The internet is awash with video tutorials, but they have to be relevant to our needs. Sometimes tracking down just what we need becomes too tedious. Our Photoshop for Photographer videos provide that relevance.